Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News, March 1st, 2014. I'm Mike Schultz, and leading our news tonight, an Alaska initiative to legalize recreational marijuana qualified last month for the August primary ballot after gathering more than 36,000 valid signatures. If approved, it would make Alaska the third state to allow retail pot sales for adults 21 and over. Colorado and Washington voters passed similar measures in November of 2012. Taylor Bickford, spokesman for the campaign to regulate marijuana like alcohol in Alaska, said it was a bipartisan tidal wave of public support for regulating marijuana in Alaska that got it on the ballot. Today, a group met in Fairbanks to discuss how to defeat the proposal when it comes to a vote. They say there are already problems in the states that approved it.
With the deregulation of marijuana, that they've seen a spike or an increase in people requesting treatment. They're having challenges with regulating the marijuana use and the sale of marijuana. And they didn't anticipate the cost of regulating the marijuana sales. And one other thing, they did not anticipate the commercialization of marijuana. In other words, people putting it on billboards, it appearing in the newsprint, and then marketing and advertising toward children.
Now some good news, the Alaska Permanent Fund has hit a new record high value. According to a release by the Alaska Permanent Fund Corporation, the total value of the fund hit $50 billion on Thursday. The fund is built in part by revenue from oil in the state. Half of the money is invested into stocks, which last year had a strong return, helping it grow by more than $5 billion. Last year, the PFD paid one of the lowest amounts of $900 to eligible Alaskan residents. Festivities are being held all weekend up at the University of Alaska Fairbanks in celebration of native culture and heritage. News Center 11's Stephanie Woodard has more in this report.
The Festival of Native Arts is an annual celebration of culture held at the University of Alaska Fairbanks campus. This year's theme, sharing the voices of our ancestors.
We're in our 41st year, and it's student-led and organized, so everything you see about anything going on this weekend for festival is because of the students, college students, and we also have alumni and community volunteers.
Organizing the event takes months of planning for students involved. They say it's important to bring together and to learn and share in the history of Alaskans.
Well, my favorite thing about festival is just, I guess, the whole thing happening. If you just go to one event and you see everybody working together, learning together, or sharing together, it's just like, where else can you see that?
The event draws an enormous crowd each year, and this year is no different.
Say roughly throughout the 3-day festival, we see about 5,000 people, including the performers, the vendors, the volunteers, and everybody that comes and watch.
Sharing the voices of our ancestors is important, according to students and organizers. Passing on the way of life for younger generations is what they say it's all about.
Well, I guess it's the way of being. It's a lifestyle. And so I'm not really sure how I could say it, but it's something you just have to do, because if you don't teach it, then who's going to teach it? And if people try to find their own way about it, certain things may be lost.
Stephanie Woodard, News Center 11.
And when we come back, a look at another United Way agency. Stay with us. Welcome back. Representatives of Liberty Tax Service teamed up today to help wounded warriors. Benefit roadside parties were held for wounded wear at the Liberty Tax offices on the Old Stees and in the Teddy Bear Plaza. Wounded Wear is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide special clothing to fit wounded or disfigured service members. Liberty Tax was helping out today by accepting donations and raising funds. The Wounded Wear organization provides proper clothing to those soldiers who have sacrificed for their country.
We are hosting a fundraiser for Wounded Wear, basically to collect donations for the warriors that need a little extra help. They do say they would like to accept more money, that way the soldiers can get whatever they need personally.
Where can they find information?
They can go to woundedwear.org online, and there's a link to donate at the top right hand side. There's also a phone number on there that they can call.
Well, it's time once again for another spotlight on one of the 20 agencies making up the United Way of the Tanana Valley. Tonight, we focus on the Boys and Girls Club of the Tanana Valley. Here's our report. The Boys and Girls Club of the Tanana Valley has been in existence since the mid-2000s, and their goal is to enable all young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. Sarah Nichols is the executive director for the agency and says without the assistance they get from the United Way of the Tanana Valley, their agency would be lost.
The United Way is a huge assistance to us. It goes directly to youth programming here at the club. It's unrestricted funds, so it really helps out where grants necessarily are restricted funds for a certain purpose. The United Way funds we can put directly to a basketball, we can put directly to art brushes, or whatever funds that we need to directly impact the youth.
I asked Sarah what she and her staff were most proud of for their contributions to the community.
I'm really proud of the fact that we serve the amount of kids that we do, that upstairs in the clubhouse is a full spectrum of youth from 7 years old. Right now I believe the oldest we have is 15. They come from all different backgrounds, they come from all different walks of life. They have different learning abilities, different levels, skills, and they somehow manage to coexist for 4 hours beautifully upstairs.
What is it that Sarah feels is her most specific, fulfilling, and rewarding moment?
I think to me the most rewarding moment is kind of a general, when parents come to pick their kids up, they know that they've been someplace that made an impact on them. That they, I've had a parent one time come up to me and say, I get to go home and be mom. I don't have to go home and be a teacher. I don't have to go home and look over their homework. I know that got done. I know it got completed. And I know that they got out some of their wiggles and some of their energy. And so I get to go home and make dinner and just be mom.
The United Way campaign will end at the end of this month, but there's still time for you to donate to your favorite charity. Mike Schultz. Well, Michael Ives is coming up next with sports. He has highlights from last night's huge Nanook hockey win over the top team in the conference. Also, Army squares off with the Air Force for the 2014 Commanders Cup. Stay with us for sports after the break.
Welcome back, Alaska. Michael Ives here with your Saturday sports. Now, there's been some good Nanook momentum going recently for all sports. And after a huge rivalry hoops win on Thursday night, the Nanook hockey team looked to keep that mojo going last night against a top opponent. The top team in the WCHA and the number 4 ranked team in the nation overall, the Ferris State Bulldogs, ran into a motivated, dedicated Alaska Nanooks team last night at the Carlson Center. Down to the last 2 weekends of the regular season, the Nanooks faced a tough matchup with playoff seeding on their minds. With the Bulldogs looking like the Calgary Flames, the Nanooks wore their special military appreciation jerseys, rocking the Arctic camo for this weekend series. And it would be Sean Cahill getting the start in net for Alaska, and he was just stellar. The Nanooks looked to win their 5th straight game, and it was senior Colton Beck striking first. He buries one after a defender falls in front of him, and Beck finds an open lane to the net. Beck stays hot and moves closer to 100 career points as a Nanook. He has 94. Then Nolan Heismans gives Alaska a 2-0 lead as he snaps a wrister past the stick of Bulldogs goalie C.J. Mott. The Nanooks would strike again as Garrick Perry creates a turnover and taps the puck to Tyler Morley, who abuses Mott with a laser just under the crossbar glove side. Ferris State would tally a power play goal to make it 3-1 Alaska, but the Nanooks sealed the deal with a 2-on-1 goal by Perry off a nice dish from Morley. Back to Sean Cahill now, who went into brick wall mode and set a career high with 36 saves last night. He was named the Raven Alaska Nanook of the game and moves to 7-3-1 in net when starting this season. The Nanooks are now tied for 4th in the WCHA standings with the rival UAA Seawolves.
Well, I think we had our bye weekend and we worked on just the basic things, passing, defense, which we showed tonight. We played really well in our D zone, blocking shots, and I think it carried over into our win. And I think what we just need to do is keep it rolling into tomorrow's game and get the sweep.
A number of Nanook student athletes were recognized this week by their respective conferences by being named to all academic teams. In GNAC basketball, 4 Nanook Hoopers were all academic players. Senior Sam Thornton of the women's team is a business administration major with a 3.36 GPA. To make the list, student athletes must have at least a 3.2 GPA and have played in half of their team's games. For the men, Stefan Tietze, Sergei Putzar, and Dallin Bills received all academic nods. Tietze has a 3.7, Putzar with a 3.68 in business administration, and Bills with a 3.64 in psychology. For the ski teams, they had 10 athletes make the United States Collegiate Ski Coaches Association's all-academic team. The entire Nanook women's team made the list. Heather Edick, Allison and Kristen McFeeters, Hannah Stevens, Nicole Baith, and Heidi O'Connor-Brooke made the 3.5 GPA qualifications. For the men's team, you had Max Olix, Michael Fehrenbach, Isaac Lammers, and Logan Hahnemann all selected to the USC SCA all-academic teams. Now, along with Military Appreciation Weekend was the Commanders Cup hockey game at the Patty Center. Over 2,000 fans packed the Patty to see Air Force defend their title against Army. Teams made up solely of soldiers, both enlisted and officers, took the ice as the Air Force looked to defend that title. The Aviators would jump out to an early lead, but Army knots it up with a goal of their own. From there, it was the Air Force squad flying around the ice and locking in on target. They would score twice in a 5-second span in the second period, and Air Force rolls to an 8-5 win. This is now back-to-back Commander Cups for Air Force, and they moved to 10-8 all-time in the series against Army. In the 20 years that this cup has been played, the cup battle has been skipped twice due to deployments, in 2006 and 2012 for Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, respectively. Nice to have all you guys here for this year's contest, and thanks to all of you for everything that you do. Nanook hockey head coach Dallas Ferguson performed the ceremonial puck drop before the game and says supporting and remembering the military in our community is crucial.
Well, it's always just a nice thing when you can honor these people that do so much for the country and for the community of Fairbanks. So I just feel fortunate to be able to, help recognize them and honor them. And I know our guys were excited to put the jersey on, tonight for them. And it was kind of cool to go over and watch them play. I mean, the passion that was in the game and the excitement that was in the game. I mean, that's what it's all about. So again, just fortunate to be able to, show our appreciation for, the military all across the country and in Fairbanks.
With a playoff spot now clinched, it could have been a coasting weekend for the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. However, the top team in the NAHL kept their foot on the gas pedal in Unalaska, Wisconsin against the hosting Coulee Region Chill. It was all about the local guy, Taylor Munson, last night as he propelled the Ice Dogs to victory. A pair of goals and an assist moves the Lathrop High School star into the team lead for goals, assists, and points on the season. Munson has 50 points in 48 games. The future Alaska Nanook also got some help from Kyle Lee and Victor Lilligren, who chipped in on the scoring, and the Dogs roll to a 4-2 road win. They move to a sparkling 39-13-1 on the year. Fairbanks is now down to their last 7 regular season games, with another rumble against the Chill on deck for tonight. Now we finish with the start of the 2014 Iditarod Sled Dog Race. The teams officially got underway from the ceremonial start in Anchorage this morning. 69 teams will hit the trail this year, and there are several interior representatives. Paige Drobny of Fairbanks is the first interior musher out of the gate wearing bib number 3. Dan Caduce from Chetnika left in bib number 5. Defending Yukon Quest champion Alan Moore left in bib number 19, while his wife Allie Zirkle is wearing bib number 10. Yukon Quest veterans Mike Ellis, Ken Anderson, Hugh Neff, and Sonny Lindner will also be running this year's Iditarod race. The rail racing starts tomorrow as the 69 teams head out on the 1,000-mile trek to the finish line in Nome. Well, that's it for sports. Be back here on Monday as Joe Cook wraps up the weekend and prepares you for a great sport weeks to come. As always, for more KTVF sports or to interact with us sports guys, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. We'll be right back with Mike Schultz and your full weather forecast up next.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. What a great day, Michael. It was just spectacular.
It's been really, really nice. It's well up above freezing now,
Yeah.
and the sunshine is the best part.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
constantly
I drove
sunny.
by the ice park, and it was packed
I bet.
to the hill.
I bet. It's been a busy weekend, not
Yeah.
just with the ice park going
Yeah.
on, but sports also. There's just a lot going on
yeah,
in the interior.
And the good sports, too.
Good sports is
Yeah.
right.
Let's talk about the weather right now because that's what the segment we're in. So let's go ahead and go to our almanac and show you what our numbers look like this time of year. The normal high is 17. Today's high was 25. Normal low is 10 below. Last night's low 6 below. Record high 53 set in 1938. Record low 49 below in 1956. Sunrise and sunset 10 hours and 16 minutes. A gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. And again, we have the air quality problem going on. It doesn't seem to cease, does it? Fairbanks under moderate conditions. North Pole unhealthy for sensitive groups. And that's expected to last right on into Monday, unfortunately. Here's our satellite picture across the state. Again, not a whole lot of clouds to talk about, mainly over the southwest and the western half of the state. But where we're at, looking at lots of sunshine, high pressure to continue. Elsewhere across the state, temperatures once again very, very comfortable. A little cooler in Ketchikan, 35 degrees, 38 at Anchorage, 41 at Kodiak. Up on the North Slope, it's 22 at Barrow, which is not bad for this time of year, and a little chilly at Fort Yukon, 5 degrees. Lower 48 weather, we've been talking about the last few days with a storm moving ashore on the west coast. It has moved ashore and bringing lots of rain with it. Also, that storm is responsible for bringing ice situations to Dallas, Fort Worth, a lot of cold temperatures across the northern plains, and even some more rain and snow over the northeast. On the satellite and radar, you can see that massive moisture moving across the Great Lakes, and there's the storm moving in on the California coast. That storm is expected to continue to the east, and it's being driven once again by the jet stream. And that storm is also bringing with it tomorrow and Monday lots of snow again, 6 to 12 inches around the New York City area and in New Jersey. It just doesn't seem to stop, and they're going to expect that to continue into next week with the cold temperatures. And again, frigid air being pulled in from Canada all the way across the Great Lakes, and more rain over the Pacific Northwest, but drying out over the Southwest. Okay, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. Flurries at Barrow. Mostly sunny skies for Fort Yukon and Nome. Over the interior, we're looking at, for the most part, lots of beautiful sunshine for Fairbanks, Healy, and Delta Junction. And over the southeast part of the state, we're looking at abundant sunshine at Juneau and Ketchikan. And also over the southwest part of the state, we're looking at cloudy skies at Cold Bay, partly cloudy at Bethel and Kodiak Island. Over the south central regions, for the most part, it looks like some fog at Anchorage and Homer, and sunny skies in Valdez. And over the, actually out of the forecast, we'll go right now to our forecast. As you can see, 2 degrees below zero for the overnight low. Clear skies will continue. Temperatures a little cooler, and dare I say, maybe some more auroras. They were out last night. How about that? The forecast for tomorrow, another beautiful day across the interior. Lots of sunshine, 26 degrees. And although not quite as warm as it was today, it will be feeling very nice also. And our extended forecast for the 5-day period, a few clouds on Tuesday and Wednesday into Thursday, but temperatures still very nice for this time of year, although they will be cooling down a little bit for Wednesday and Thursday, and overnight lows right around 10 degrees below zero. But this is perfect for the ice sculptors. They love this kind of weather, because the ice doesn't melt, obviously.
Sure.
And the multi-blocks will get underway as far as the construction of those, and that will be really fun to watch.
Well, I know how hard it is to do anything with your hands when it's 20 or 30 below. So the thought of carving those artistic things and being freezing, that's too tough. So I imagine
they'll be done by Thursday night, and we'll have the awards presentation on Friday night.
Fantastic. It was fun watching you out there all week, by the way.
I
Did you have
did.
a
It
good
wasn't
time?
too uncomfortable. It wasn't. Usually it's pretty cold, but it wasn't that bad this time. And the folks I talked to had a lot of great stories. Really, really interesting.
Outstanding. Looked like a good group of people, and there's always artists from all over the world that come to these things.
And the most amazing thing about Ice Park is it's all run by volunteers. One paid position, and that's it. It's all volunteers that run that.
Wow.
Plus a lot of contributions from the community itself. So it's an incredible endeavor.
That's fantastic. Great interior event right there,
Definitely,
Mike.
definitely. Well, that's going to do it for this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Join us every Monday through Friday and Saturdays, 6 and 11, for all your news, sports, and weather.
And don't forget, our good friend J.R. Lewis comes your way weekday mornings at 6:30 with the Fairbanks Morning News. And again, everyone, have a great weekend, and we'll see you again Monday.